All right, so let's just create a new document in InDesign. We'll just make an 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to demo, there's a couple of different ways that you can do the tabs and leaders. So let's first just let's draw two text boxes. We'll do a 2-column layout with a good 1/4-inch gutter right there. And bring both text boxes in. So a lot of times when you are putting together your tabs and leaders, there's a specific reason why you're using tabs and leaders. And a lot of times it's for a menu. So you might separate the menu item from the price. So let's say like you have a hamburger and the hamburger is $5. I'm going to manually hit the tab key on my keyboard and just put in a couple of items. Maybe the cheeseburger's a little bit more. Maybe you have a hot dog and that's a little bit less. And this is beginning to look like the kids' menu, right? So you can see by manually putting in a tab, some of the items have a good enough space, but when we get to the grilled cheese, not so much. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to manually adjust the tabs and leaders. So like I was saying, there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. First things first, you're going to want to select all of the text in the text box. And you can go up to type and go down, type to tabs, and it's going to open up this tabs box right here. And this is why I wanted to do the mouse clicks, is it's a little bit hard to see where you need to click. Inside of this tabs box, let me just close it out and open it. Whoops, open it back up again. It's best if you expand it to your whole text box. There we go. You can click in this gray area right here. Everything is gray on the screen. You have the gray area right here. You have the gray to black area of the ruler, but you need to click in between those two areas. And you have a different set of arrows here. You have a left justified tab. You have a center justified tab. You have a right justified tab, and then you have a tab that will align to a decimal. So the decimal point, the point right here. When I am doing items for a menu, I like to go with a right justified tab, and there's a reason for that. So I'm going to add in a couple more items. I'm going to add in a steak. That's maybe $11. And then I'm going to add in maybe some add-ons. Add avocado for $1. All right, so you can see that if I'm aligning it to the dots, the decimal points, it kind of leaves a weird layout. But what if I right align everything? All right, that's a little bit better, and I can add in, I would always add in the dollars, but it's a way nicer alignment, I find, than a left alignment where, again, the 2 zeros for the $11 item are going to hang over a little bit. Another thing that I like to do is I like to bring it right to the edge of the text box and get that over there. Now, adding in the leader, you need to have everything selected and you need to have your tab selected over here in that ruler area. Then what you're going to do is you can put your dot in the leader and hit enter, and it adds those dots in. But one of the things is when you are adjusting, you have to be careful to grab the actual arrow, which can be a little bit difficult. So if you accidentally click, you're going to add a new arrow in. See? And now your leaders are gone. So you can get rid of it. You can right click on it to delete that tab that you put in there. And then you need to click on the original one and that'll add it back in. So again, it can be a little bit difficult. And if you've accidentally just clicked all over here and there's way too many, right click and you can clear all of them and start over. Which again, just clicking and dragging in. And this little tick at the end right here, it looks like a triangle on its side. That is where your text box ends. So you want to be sure not to go past that area because it'll drag it to the next line. All right, so that's one way that you can add in the tabs and leaders. Now, another way that you can add them in is right through, oops, spelled avocado wrong. Not that it matters, but that'll drive me nuts looking at it, is right through the paragraph styles. So let's open up our paragraph styles. Just drag them over here for a moment. And I'm going to go to tabs. And I'm just going to clear them all. So we can add in a new paragraph style. Double click. And we can call it tabs. And you can just go down to the tab screen and it gives you that same ruler right here. So we can do the same thing. We can drag it to the end. And this is what I meant. Add the leader in and right click it, preview, and hit OK. So now going forward, you can add in your tabs. Well, what if you have multiple items? Let's say that you have a menu that maybe, or a part of a menu that spans both columns. I mean, that'll happen, if you have small, medium, and large of something, right? So let's try this. Let's do small, medium, large. And you would want to put a tab before the small. So maybe we have soft drinks. And they're $1, $1.50, $3. I'm going to select everything. This would be, a good time to use the type tabs if you've already done a paragraph style. I mean, you could technically do another paragraph style, name it tabs too, but for this, I'm just going to show it to you over here. So again, I would right justify, and I would probably do like 5, 6, and 7 to start off. You can add in your leaders. And you'll notice, ooh, I don't want it up here though, right? I don't want the leaders in between, but I want them on all of them. Okay, so what we would need to do is first select the first line, take the leader out. Then select the lines with the items, and you will need to click on individually each of the arrows and manually add the leader in. So again, being sure to click only on the arrows. And if you want to adjust them, grab, drag it to the end. And again, don't go past that tick area, even if the box opens a little bit more. And you can count. Sometimes I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right at 5.5. To get them nice and even. There we go. And, oh, I was accidentally on this line. There. It's like, why did it add those leaders in? I was accidentally right up at the top line. One character. That's all it takes is one character. Now, you could even do something on the top line if you wanted to, where you could center these tabs over the amount. So you could click and do a center and manually center it over the middle. Click on this one. And again, drag it to manually see how I'm centering it at the center of the 5. And then the same thing for the large. Again, being careful to make sure it fits. There we go. And it puts it right at the end as well. So again, a couple of different ways that you can set them up. So where you want to do something with 2 different sets of tabs in this one for the different drinks. You know, again, I would do the manual type tab for this one so you can get it on different lines. Because in a paragraph style, the entire paragraph, which means the entire text box basically needs to be set to that style. So there are going to be times where you're going to want to just use the tabs panel if it's, within the same text box, and there's going to be times where you can do it as a paragraph style. So I hope that this is a little bit more helpful trying to set up those tabs and leaders. Again, it can be a little bit hard to just see where you need to click on the screen. So the accompanying YouTube video should help you with this. All right, have a great day, everyone.